To the games that we're featuring today, we're going to take a look at what's happening in the game between Swindon and Leyton Orient. Really, two sides that come from the opposite end of the sort of spending spectrum, if you like, at the moment. Watching that, Sean, how's it begun, Sean?
Yeah, both teams started lively. Orient really going at Swindon early doors. Just had a great bit of play from Lee Cook coming off the line, cutting inside. Good run from Lisby, gets in behind the Swindon defence inside the box, and Swindon had to clear their lines right in front of the goal. So, yeah, Orient started OK at the moment.
Federico Bassoni making his league debut for Swindon today, and Matt Ritchie is back as well in their starting lineup. But what's happening in the game between Swindon and Leyton Orient? You know, Swindon's record at home, spectacular, unbeaten in 28 home games, and they've conceded one goal in the last 19 home league games. It's absolutely staggering. Has there been any threat to that record from Leyton Orient? Yeah,
to be fair to Orient, they've started on the front foot. They've had a couple of near things in the box, ball bobbling around. Lee Cook had a half a chance, cracked it and got another corner. Lisby had a half a chance. They almost seem like Orient have come knowing that record. You know, they look relaxed. It's almost like, well, what have we got to lose? Let's go and deliver a performance, because they've started very, very well. And as we speak, they're just on the attack again. Symes has got him behind the defence. Lisby's in the box. Can they get a cross in? Oh. No, just slowed down. Swindon are doing OK, but Orient are definitely on the front foot in this game so far.
They lost the last 6 away games, have Orient, so looking to stop the rot. That is for sure, though it's a tough place to stop the rot. The Orient holding their own, the last we heard, against much-fancied Swindon. Any clear chances for Swindon, Sean?
Yeah, it's a strange game, as they often do in these games. They change very quickly. Orient were going well. All of a sudden, out the blue, Swindon get it to Ritchie, of course, last year's Player of the Year for the league and in the Team of the Year. Lovely bit of interplay. Miller, Ritchie, Williams, goes wide, cross comes in, DeVita, chance on the back stick, gets blocked for a corner. But all of a sudden, Swindon are just beginning to settle into the game and just looking slightly stronger in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Orient doing well enough at the moment down at Swindon, that is for sure. They haven't scored in the last 3 games. Has there been any threat from Orient in the last few minutes at all, Sean?
Yeah, they keep getting the ball to Rowlands, who's you know, he's got that experience. He's beginning to open it. Oh, they're through now. Oh, unlucky. Cook, being a real handful on the left, keeps cutting inside, keeps running at the defenders, putting them on the back foot. As we're speaking, Swindon getting back into it, trying to break through Collins, but the big players for Swindon, Collins, Ritchie, not quite come to life yet. Williams, you know, these players are the players that they need to really take a grip on this game, but they've got to find a pass. Both teams 4-4-2. Orient do a better job at the minute of cancelling out what Swindon are offering them.
The game between Swindon and Leyton Orient had a bit of a gasp from Sean Dyche. Swindon beginning to hit their stride, Sean?
Yeah, good move again. Orient really doing well. I mean, they've got no fear the way they're playing. They're certainly playing well at the minute. Obviously, the heat might sap their energy because they're very energetic, but a really good move. Involves Cook again, like it does. Good run from Symes, gets inside, cuts it back. Unfortunately, can't get a finish on it. I think it was Symes followed his run, couldn't quite get a finish on it, but a great chance for Orient. And brilliant. Really away at Swindon, you've got to put them away if you want to win.
Yeah, the county ground as well. It's also a game that's goalless and probably could go either way as well. What do you think, Sean?
Well, to be honest, the camera just cut to Paolo Di Canio. He doesn't look too happy, and it's not just because the sun's in his eyes, I don't think. It's not been happening for them. They look slightly off the pace. There's been moments for them when they've passed it well, look progressive, but it's been mostly Orient. They've just had a great move. The productive players from Lisby, Cox, Symes, Cook, Rowlands, all adapting to the game better than the opposition. A great move, great cross from Cook. And to be honest, Lisby should score. 7 yards out, free header in their box. It livens Swindon slightly, but I'm sure Paolo Di Canio will be looking for half-time to come quick as possible.
Let's go and find out what's happening in the second half. Can Leyton Orient hold firm for another 45 minutes at Swindon? Sean Dyche.
Well, Swindon have started better, which we thought they might, whether it's because Paolo Di Canio, apparently it said, had a very short team talk and then left the dressing room, so I don't know what that means. Maybe that will come out over the next day or two. They're making a change, actually. Navarro's going off. Keep you informed on who's coming off. And, yeah, so they've started brighter, but they're going to need to do more. They need to really take the game on now because they're at home, they're kicking into the home end, and they've got to go and dominate Orient. If they don't do that, Orient have got a chance because they're handling themselves well at the moment, tactically.
Remains goalless in that one. We'll hear about that in a moment or two, but the deadlock has been broken, first of all, at the county ground, and it's not the scoreline you might have expected. Sean Dyche.
No, well, when you came to me last time, Navarro went off injured, Simon Ferry came on. Swindon were getting the better feel of the game, using tactically, breaking the shape of Orient. Then all of a sudden, Orient got the other end. A long throw, they do well second phase, a fantastic ball in from McSweeney. Lee Cook's on the far stick. He's been a thorn in Swindon's side all afternoon. It's a lovely finish, drills it in the near post, but they deserve it, Orient. They haven't started as well second half, but they deserve to be in front.
Just the second goal that Swindon have conceded in 20 home league games, and maybe Leyton Orient about to turn a corner. They took a bit of a thumping last weekend, didn't they, at Preston? They're behind at home to Leyton Orient. How have they responded, Sean?
Well, Swindon have been applying the pressure. They've made a change. Adam Rooney's come on for Collins, and immediately he gets a break. There's a long throw. There's a flick on from Williams. He goes through. He's more or less getting to the point of one-on-one with the keeper. Defenders chasing him down. I think it was Clark putting him under pressure, and he dragged it wide. A real good chance. I mean, a great chance. He'd just come on, to be fair, literally a matter of 10 seconds. But he should put that away. I mean, he got 7 in 27 for Birmingham last year, so he knows where the goal is. He should put that away. So Swindon should be on level terms.
Back to the county ground. Just I wouldn't call it a real opportunity for Leyton Orient, but they've gone close, Sean.
Yeah, just after I left you, they get a free kick, edge of the box. Orient. Dean Cox get a great shape on it, real good technique, whips it over the wall, just over the upright. A real good effort. And like I say, Orient are right in there. Maybe that's given them a little shake, that chance for Swindon. Maybe that's warmed them up again, and hopefully they're going to respond.
Now, here's a surprise. Well, it's actually no surprise at all, is it? I think the referee's been talking to Paolo Di Canio in the game at the county ground, has he, Sean?
Yeah, he popped on the pitch just to have a chat with him, I think. To be honest, it was something out of nothing. Orient were looking to make a change. I think Symes came off, couldn't see the board, as in the numbers on it, because it's a sunny day. Took, a minute longer. Paolo comes on, starts having a go at the referee, or virtually on the pitch. Brunt's come on, by the way, in place of Symes. Also, Paul Benson's come on for Williams. Williams, 16 last year for Yeovil, hasn't scored yet for Swindon. Benson, 11 in 24, his Swindon record is. So they're looking for goals. They want someone to score them, see if he can be the man to get them back in it.
Well, they let Alan Connell go. He scored 13 goals for them last season. He's gone to Bradford, and as you can see, he's just scored his first goal for his new club. Back to the game at the county ground. This is one of the upsets of the day on the cards as Leyton Orient still lead Swindon by a goal to nil. Sean?
Yeah, Di Canio on the pitch again. Another substitution, decided to walk on. They've even, to try and keep him happy, they've put the actual numbers out, like they used to do in my day, not the electric screen, to try and keep him happy. But he's on the pitch again, saying they were wasting time. Orient are doing a good job. They've got to manage the game now. It's coming to the closing stage. They have to manage the game. They're 1-0 up. A massive result for them at this stage when they've lost so many already this season. Massive result for them. So they're doing it right, and Di Canio's not enjoying it. I think he'd do a similar thing if the game was going in their favour.
I love that expression, manage the game, i.e. waste time, run down the clock.
Possibly.
Yeah,
possibly.
Absolutely, yeah. But they're doing it, and who can blame them? They lead by a goal to nil at Swindon, who are unbeaten in 28 home games, but facing defeat right now for the Barnett goal. It's all over in the game at the county ground. Swindon beaten for the first time in 29 home games. Paolo Di Canio, bit of controversy again on the pitch a couple of times in the second half. The referee had words with him, but Lee Cook is the man who's won all 3 points for Russell Slade's side. Their first win of the season, their first points of the season. Didn't have a point on the scoreboard before today. 4 straight defeats, but they've won at the most difficult place of all to win at, the county ground in Swindon, and they've won by a goal to nil. And according to Sean Dyche, it was a thoroughly deserved victory as well. And all Paolo Di Canio can do now is look on and gesticulate unhappily, as he is prone to do. Elsewhere, well, there's confirmation of that Swindon Leyton Orient. Let's turn attention to what happened at the county ground today. Something that doesn't happen very often because Swindon have lost at home. First time they've lost at home in 29 home games. They'd only conceded once in 19 home league games before today. And Leyton Orient, hadn't got a point on the scoreboard, came and they went and won. I think it's one of those results where you say funny game football. Did Leyton Orient deserve it, Sean? Yeah,
they did. They went there and set up a 4-4-2, so they changed. They've been trying to mainly play with the 4-2-3-1 and vary that 3 in midfield, but they've gone there with a 4-4-2 and tactically got it right. They look full of energy, and that freedom that sometimes comes when you're playing against a team who have been so dominant at home. You almost get that mentality as a group where you think, well, all right, everything to gain, very little to lose. And they certainly played that way. They started with a vibrancy and an energy, and it was lacking in Swindon first half. It got slightly better for Swindon second half, but they didn't really fit. They didn't play in that manner like they were the dominant force at home that we've seen last season and the early part of this season.
And Paolo Di Canio, as is his wont, was in trouble on more than one occasion.
Well, it's an interesting one because I was reading up on it, and he said that last week that he was pleased to have a free week to work with the players because obviously at the beginning of part of the season you have the cup games, and it suddenly becomes Saturday, Tuesday, you know, and it gets to a point where you're really just recovering, ready to go again. And he made a big play this week on how he'd had that free week, and the players didn't really use it to their advantage, I didn't think, you know, and that's sometimes the case. Sometimes it's better to keep the players just playing. They just go out there and keep performing. As regards Paolo, he has his moments. We've seen him certainly last year, and we've seen him again already this year at Stoke the other day. He was on the pitch kicking someone up the rear for scoring a goal, and today it was over some substitutions. I must say it did look like the Orient players were looking across and couldn't see the ball because of the sun shining on it. Possibly it was at a stage in the game they were trying to dampen it down a bit, which can happen, manage the game, as I said. But, you know, you need to do that. You're going away to Swindon, fantastic home record, going well, signed some big players, big budgetary difference between these two clubs, I'm pretty sure of that. So you're going to need to do whatever you can, and Orient did. They played well and deserved the victory.
OK, let's have a quick word with Paolo Di Canio, shall we? Here he is with Tony Colliver.
Your assessment of today?
You know, what I can think about the game is not about the result because earlier or later we should lose at home after a good record. But in the way it happened, didn't make me enjoy. Is in a bad moment, not only for the results, but in terms of performance, commitment, desire, passion. As a manager, is the most tough moment because obviously last year we started very badly. But we were in a working process, you know, we brought in 13, 14 players. Now it's a similar the situation because we are new in this league, because we started very well and probably we overestimate ourselves because we beat Stoke City, Brighton, Brighton. But we have to think in exactly what we did at the beginning of the season. We were humble people with the desire, with professionalism, in work hard and try to help each other. This moment we lost some of those aspects. We have to work well and hard to not repeat the same mistakes.
There's 3 defeats on the trot. Is that a bit of a reality check?
We deserve all the 3. No, Oxford, to be honest, we deserve to win the game, but it was a cup. It happened for an accident, for a bad defensive mistake, but it happened. This game and Preston, absolutely we deserve to lose because the opponents did something more. Not in terms of quality, but in terms of desire, passion, probably because they were nearly the bottom and they put more hunger. We played in our toe, like, you know, without any hunger, desire. But obviously we have to turn direction, otherwise it will be very tough. I don't want to say dream, but the chance to stay top 10 is even far if we keep going play with this quality.
Well, he's honest, isn't he, saying that his side deserved to lose as they did at Preston in midweek. Can you almost make too many changes, Sean? You know, the side that served him so well last season, the likes of Alan Connell have gone. They've brought in people like Andy Williams and Gary Roberts, James Collins, Tommy Miller, Navarro, a whole host of players. Could they have made too many changes? Yeah,
possibly. I mean, I think he'll have seen going up a level and thought that he needs to reinforce. But along with that, I think when you look at the team today, there was more of a mix. I mean, you know, you still had Darren Ward on the bench. Rooney came off the bench. You know, so he's left some out, and he's probably given chances to people who maybe did well for him last year. It's a fine line, I think, when you're bringing change in. You know, are you strengthening in your mind? You're strengthening, but are you actually strengthening in delivery of performance? And you know, some of the teams that have done really well on getting promoted and then the next season have stuck with more or less the squad they've got through all different divisions. But how do you find that measure? You know, if the owner, the chairman, etc., says, here's some money, do you want to get some players? Most managers would act on that, and he certainly has. They were bringing in around about 11, I think.
Nice for Russell Slade. Do you think they've turned the corner briefly?
Well, who knows? I mean, you know, I thought they got it dead right today. Went there, as I suggested, changed the tactical formation. Usually Cook really well. I think he's a very, very good player. Been very unfortunate through his career with injuries. He was very productive today, as was Lisby, the two centre-halves, Chorley, Clark. I mean, I think they've got a reasonable base. I think their cutting edge has sometimes been lacking this season, but they had 2 or 3 other chances to score today. And, you know, it was a good goal in the end, but I think they've turned the corner, so hopefully it'll be better times for them.
Thanks very much indeed.
Right, let's bring you another man who's been making the headlines, hasn't he, in League One this week? It can only be Paolo Di Canio. Now, last weekend, he fell out with his goalkeeper. During the defeat to Preston in the week, he blamed one of his defenders for their Johnson's Paint exit. So, who would incur the fiery Italians' wrath as they took on Leyton Orient today? Well, despite their public fallings out, Di Canio included Wes Fotheringham and Aidan Flint in his starting lineup. Swindon, though, went on to lose the game 1-0. Lee Cook scored the only goal of the game to earn Orient the win. It's now 3 defeats in a row in all competitions for Di Canio's side. Their first defeat in 29 at home in the league.
Swindon Town had started the season in very good form, 7 points from their first 3 league games, but consecutive league defeats now have seen them drop into mid-table. They did create the first opening against struggling Leyton Orient. Rafael Davita, 2 goals in his 3 previous games, wasting an excellent chance after Andy Williams bent the ball over from the right. But Orient, previously without a point, squandered an even better opportunity. Kevin Lisby putting a close-range header wide after Lee Cook had picked him out. The second half started with a couple of half chances for Swindon's Matt Ritchie, the midfielder who'd scored in his last 2 league games, testing the young O's keeper Ryan Alsop on 2 occasions. The second after a quick Swindon throw-in, Alsop doing really well for Leyton Orient. And in the next attack, the East London side took the lead. Leon McSweeney's cross from the right, and Lee Cook provided Orient's first goal from open play in the league this season. Swindon responded by sending on Adam Rooney, and the on-loan Birmingham striker put a chance wide after being released by Williams. It was the final opportunity for Swindon, and a free kick from Orient's Dean Cox wasn't far away late on. Orient's first points of the season, and they were thoroughly deserved.